a princess by day, and monster by night. Once upon a time, in a distant kingdom far beyond the reach of men, nestled deep in the shadow of the dark mountains, there lived a young maiden named Ndidi. She was as beautiful as the sun that rose over the hills each morning, her skin radiant and her long, thick hair flowing like rivers of midnight. Every village around the kingdom knew of her beauty, and suitors from all corners of the land traveled to ask for her hand in marriage. But Ndidi had a secret that no one, not even her family, knew. In the daytime, she was the radiant maiden everyone admired. But at night, when the moon rose, her form changed. Ndidi transformed into a creature neither human nor beast, a hideous monster with leathery skin, long, clawed hands, and eyes that glowed like embers in the dark. This curse had befallen her many years ago, cast by a powerful witch jealous of her beauty and her father's favor. The witch had cursed Ndidi so that she would only be beautiful by day, and at night, her true form would be revealed. To protect herself, Ndidi lived a life of isolation, leaving her house only during the day. At sunset, she would retreat to the safety of her chamber, locking herself away to prevent anyone from seeing her monstrous form. Her father, the village chief, had noticed that she shunned social events at night, but she always made excuses about being tired or ill. The villagers whispered rumors about her behavior. Some said she was too proud to mingle with others, while others thought she was secretly waiting for a suitor so perfect that no one else could compare. But no one suspected the truth. One fateful day, a rumor reached the village that a neighboring kingdom was in search of a bride for their prince, a kind and noble man named Emeka. His kingdom was vast, and his wealth was unmatched. He had been searching for a bride for many years, but none had captured his heart. When the news reached Ndidi's father, he saw it as the perfect opportunity for his daughter to marry into royalty and secure the family's future. "We must arrange a meeting between Ndidi and Prince Emeka," her father said one evening over supper. "This is the chance of a lifetime. With your beauty, daughter, he will surely choose you as his bride." Ndidi smiled weakly, but inside, her heart sank. She knew that if the prince ever saw her true form, he would be horrified. The thought of leaving her village, of having her secret discovered in a foreign land, filled her with dread. But she could not tell her father the truth. To him, she was his perfect, beloved daughter. The day of the prince's arrival approached swiftly. Ndidi prepared herself, her beauty glowing brighter than ever. When Prince Emeka arrived, he was indeed smitten by her. They spoke of many things, and she found herself drawn to him as well. He was kind, gentle, and he seemed to see beyond her beauty, appreciating her intelligence and humor. But as the sun began to set, Ndidi felt the familiar pull of the curse. She excused herself hurriedly, retreating to her chambers before the prince could notice anything strange. Over the next few days, she continued to meet with Prince Emeka, but always ensured their meetings were during the day. She hoped he would ask for her hand in marriage soon, before he ever had the chance to discover her secret. Yet, despite the growing affection between them, something in Prince Emeka held him back from proposing. He felt as though Ndidi was keeping something from him. Why did she always rush away as the sun began to set? Why did she never join him for evening meals or night festivals? The prince was no fool, and he sensed that there was more to her than met the eye. One evening, he decided to find out the truth for himself. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Prince Emeka made his way to Ndidi's chambers. He crept quietly, his heart pounding, unsure of what he would find. As he approached her door, he heard a sound that chilled him to the bone, a low growl, like that of a beast, and the sound of claws scratching against wood. His heart raced, but he pressed on, determined to uncover whatever secret she was hiding. Pushing the door open slightly, he peered into the room and gasped in horror. There, in the moonlight, stood not the beautiful maiden he had come to admire, but a monstrous creature, her skin dark and rough like tree bark, her eyes glowing fiercely, and her hands twisted into clawed appendages. For a moment, he thought about fleeing, but something stopped him. As terrifying as the creature was, there was something familiar in its posture, in the way it stood hunched over, gazing longingly at the night sky. It was her. This monster was Ndidi. Emeka's mind raced, but instead of running, he stepped into the room. "Ndidi," he whispered, his voice trembling but steady. Is this you? The creature turned sharply, startled by his voice. It growled softly, but then, seeing who it was, the fierceness in its eyes softened. Ndidi, in her monstrous form, backed away from him, ashamed and afraid. Go, she rasped, her voice deep and distorted. You shouldn't be here. Now you know the truth. I am cursed. You must leave. But Prince Emeka, though shaken, did not leave. He approached her cautiously, his eyes filled with a mix of fear and compassion. Why didn't you tell me? He asked. I would have understood. Ndidi lowered her head, tears welling up in her eyes, even in this monstrous form. I was afraid, she whispered. Afraid you would reject me. That you would see me for the monster I truly am. Emeka stood there for a long moment, taking in the weight of her words. He knew that a curse such as this could not be easy to live with, and yet, in this moment, he saw past the twisted form that stood before him. He saw the same woman he had admired, strong, kind, and intelligent. The same woman who had captured his heart. Ndidi, he said softly, reaching out his hand. You are not a monster to me. You are still the woman I care about. But Ndidi pulled away, shaking her head. No. You don't understand. This curse will never break. I will be like this forever. I can never be a true wife to you. Prince Emeka, however, was not easily swayed. He knew of many things, of magic and curses, of enchantments and their undoing. He had heard tales of love breaking even the darkest of spells. There must be a way, he said determinedly. Let me help you find it. Ndidi's heart ached with hope and fear. She had long since given up on the idea that her curse could ever be broken. But looking into the prince's eyes, she saw a sincerity that made her want to believe. Over the next few weeks, Emeka and Ndidi embarked on a journey together. They sought the help of wise men, medicine women, and even ventured into the dark forest where old spirits dwelled. Each one gave them pieces of advice, fragments of old stories about curses and the power of true love. At last, they found an old oracle, a woman who lived alone in a cave at the edge of the world. Her hair was wild, her eyes milky with blindness, but she saw more than any mortal could. To break the curse, the oracle said, you must perform the ritual of the twin hearts. Only under the light of the full moon, with a heart filled with love and sacrifice, can the curse be broken. The ritual required both of them to be bound together, their souls connected in an unbreakable bond. They would stand before the moon, hands clasped, as Ndidi transformed into her monstrous form. If Emeka's love was pure and unwavering, the curse would be shattered. But if his love faltered, even for a moment, the curse would become eternal, and she would be trapped in her monstrous form forever. It was a dangerous gamble, but Emeka was willing to take the risk. He loved Ndidi deeply, and he believed in the power of their love. On the night of the full moon, they stood together in a clearing, the moon's light bathing them in a silver glow. As the transformation took hold of Ndidi, her beauty melted away, replaced by the monstrous form that had haunted her for so long. But Emeka did not waver. He held her hands tightly, his heart steady. I love you, he whispered. No matter what form you take. The moon's light grew brighter, and for a moment, it seemed as though the ritual would succeed. But in the final seconds, as the curse began to lift, a shadow of doubt flickered in Emeka's heart. Just for a moment, he wondered if he could truly live with the memory of her monstrous form. And that moment was enough. The ritual faltered, and the curse solidified around Ndidi, locking her into her monstrous form forever. Emeka's heart broke as he realized what had happened, but it was too late. Ndidi, now trapped in her beastly form for all eternity, wept silently as the full weight of their failure sank in. She turned away from Emeka, knowing that her love for him could never be fulfilled. And so, the tale of Ndidi and Prince Emeka became a story of love that almost conquered all, a story whispered by the villagers for generations to come.